wake up this morning to a litany of tweets, rumors, innuendo that one of the most anticipated fights of the first quarter of 2025, Dan Hooker against Justin Gaethje. You'll recall on this program, Dan Hooker, when I asked him, 5-round fight against Justin Gaethje at UFC 313, March 8th, Las Vegas. Why? He said, because I think the UFC wants someone to die. Anyway, everyone loved this fight. It was a great co-main event for the main eventer, which is Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. And then we find out, actually, as first reported by the critically acclaimed YouTube channel, Zoe Hooker TV, that unfortunately Dan Hooker has broken his left hand and he is out. In case you missed it, here's the news.
We did have a little break. We have been busy. Dad had a fight, or was supposed to have a fight, but I've busted me paw.
Great channel. It's, on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of like wholesomeness, not a word, but it just feels right. It's like a 25, that channel. So, good on him for breaking it on his own. Not the hand, of course, the news. We then got a tweet from Benny P., I believe out in Australia. How do I know this? Well, I see the flag emoji right over there. Unfortunate news, but per sources, Dan Hooker is out of his fight against Justin Gaethje at UFC 313. Unknown if Gaethje will get a replacement. All right. Then the next domino to fall. Well, all of a sudden, there's Dan Hooker on Sky Sport New Zealand, really, actually, literally confirming the news.
Co-host Dan Hooker.
How are we?
Hey, look, I was going to ask you the same question, mate. One of these hands don't look like the other.
One of the paws is not doing so well.
What has happened in training?
Just sparring last night, as I do, just letting some hooks go, just throwing some bombs down range, and just caught one of the boys on the top of the dome with my knuckle, and yeah. And then I don't think too much of it, but they sent me off to get a CT scan. Mm-hmm. Had a little CT scan, and they told me that my hand is fractured. So yeah, as of now, I obviously still would fight. With like the medicals, they like squeeze it, like they squeeze your hands. I'll just say they're like,
ow!
Ah! So now we'll see how it all plays out.
I don't even know if you'd be able to fit the glove by the time you get over there.
Yeah, I'll be sitting out back and I'll be like, hey, because I can have one large glove and one 3XL, please. They'll be like, what? We'll see if we can kick this fight down the road, or yeah. We'll just wait and see, baby. It's just unfortunate that it was this close. Obviously gutted for all the fans that I know that were excited for this fight. That's probably the main thing. I think just the Lords of War were not happy, and they took it away from you.
What a bummer. There it is. Dan Hooker officially out some 11 or so days before UFC 313. Very unfortunate, because a lot of people are looking forward to the fight. And interestingly enough, Dan seemed to have done a whole bunch of media yesterday. Our friend Benoit Baudouin of Montreal, who does a tremendous job covering all kinds of sports out in Quebec, actually spoke to him yesterday. And what I thought was super interesting about this, remember yesterday on the show we were talking about, is this now a 3-round fight after it was very clearly promoted as a 5-round fight? Well, take a look at what Dan Hooker had to say. And also, by the way, take a look at the left hand as he's speaking to Benoit.
3-round.
So that changed, right?
I think originally it got announced as a 5-round fight. But yeah, then I got my contract and it said 3. So I said, if we're gonna, I said, well, it looks like we're doing 3. Kind of is what it is. If they're gonna pay me the same amount of money for to do 3 rounds, then I'll do 3 rounds.
So there you have it. You see the left hand over there? It looks a little swollen if you look ever so closely at the very end of the clip. But what's so interesting about it, all of a sudden it became a 3-round fight. Why is that? Is it because perhaps he said that they were going to fight to the death or something like that? Probably not, but a bit weird. Usually you get paid a little extra when you go 25 minutes. Who the hell knows? Point is, it's a moot point. And so since all of this came out, we've had several people raise their hand and say, tag me in. I want in. The notables, Rafael Fiziev, who we haven't seen in quite some time. Last time we actually saw him was September of 2023, a year and a half or so. In addition to that, Manny Moicano raising his hands. 2 weeks is good. I have enough time for 2 or 3 sparring sessions. I will be ready if they call. In addition to that, Mateus Gamrot. Hooker out. I'm ready to go, Justin Gaethje. 2 weeks, no matter. My fight with Hooker was very close, and he got lucky with the judges. Time to fix it and prove it. I'm not really sure if fighting Gaethje proves that Hooker got lucky, but I get the sentiment. In any event, these are all possibilities. What I'm hearing right now is the plan is to keep Justin Gaethje on the card. They would like to do so. And these are some of the names that are in the mix. Fiziev definitely in the mix. I've also heard that Beneil Dariush in the mix as well. By the way, Justin Gaethje on his Snapchat confirming the news and saying that he would like to stay on the card and is waiting for more information. Y'all didn't know I was on that Snapchat grind, huh? Yeah. That's where you get all the good news on Snapchat, I'm told. Why would someone choose to go to Snapchat these days to like get the message out? Is that for the kids? What is that? What's going on? I'm talking to you, GC. Why do people go on Snapchat?
I don't know. You've always been a Snapchat hater.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Posted it on his Snapchat story.
Yeah, what's up with that?
That guy G.
Like, why do you go to
But
the
he didn't
Snapchats?
post like news or anything. It's just a picture of him smarring, being
With
like,
a caption.
on an opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not do that on IG? Isn't there a bigger audience there? He wanted it
More
for
lucrative on Snapchat.
he wanted
I
it for
guess.
the real ones?
Yeah, come on.
All right. Well, there you have it. We're going to weigh in on all of this in a moment. But in addition to all of that, right before the program, we found out that a massive fight has been added to UFC 315. The UFC cooking right now. A litany of news, an avalanche of news. And the avalanche continues from last week. Massive fight added to UFC 315 at Le Centre Bell in Montreal on the, how should we say it? Le 10 Mai. Yeah, that's right. May 10th. It's Montreal's own. He's one of our own. He's one of our own. Amen Zahabi. He's one of our own. Going up against the King of Rio, Jose Aldo. Shades of UFC 129. Mark Hominick. April 2011. Rogers Center, a.k.a. the Sky Dome. Aldo back in Canada. Actually 2-0 in Canada. Going up against Zahabi, who, in my opinion, is arguably the best male fighter to come out of Canada right now. Him and Mike Malott. Malott also on the card. I love this fight. If you're a Montreal fan, if you're a Canadian fan, to see one of your own go up against Jose Aldo, brilliant stuff. And what an opportunity for Zahabi. Montreal, born and bred, getting his first fight in his hometown of his UFC career. He's on this run. I love it. In addition to that, we found out last night that also one of our own, Jasmine Divizius. I'm sorry, Frank. I screwed that up.
Who says Jazz Divizius?
Yeah. I screwed that up. Fighting the former champ, Jessica Andrade, in a very important flyweight bout. And so how about this? It's a little Canada versus Brazil on this card. I like this. I like this very much. I like these two fights. I saw some people complaining about it, but look, better than the Toronto card, in my opinion, from January of last year, better than the Vancouver card as well. You're not getting International Fight Week in Montreal in May. You're not. But you're getting 2 title fights. You're getting arguably the greatest female fighter of all time, arguably Valentina Shevchenko against the rising Manon Fiorot. You're getting JDM, the very popular Don Giacomo, Jack Della Maddalena going up against the human highlight reel that is Bilal Muhammad. You're getting Jose Aldo against one of your own, Ayman Zahabi. You're getting Jasmine
Jazz Divizius
against Jessica Andrade, Mike Malott as well. I mean, it's not bad. I like it. And if that wasn't enough, the one we were waiting for, the big one, Guram is back. We found out that Guram is back. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, Guram and Zahabi fight news back-to-back days.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Good shit.
By the way, in that photo, he doesn't look very much like you.
Also, his beard is massive.
Yeah, it's too long. It's when it's shorter, it looks better. Gentlemen, what do you think of this Justin Gaethje conundrum? Where do they go?
Oh, it's a bummer.
What do you guys think?
I don't mind the Fiziev fight.
Yeah,
We saw that. It was super close. I'm down for that.
What do you think, Pete?
Is there any way we can sort out some of the problems that we were talking about yesterday? I couldn't help but think
that yesterday we were talking about the lightweight situation and Charles Oliveira, Ilya Topuria, Dana non-committal on whether that kind of super fight of sorts is going to happen. Is there any way we can sort out that situation by mending this situation? Can we put someone in there? Maybe Armin comes back.
Armin versus Justin?
Yeah. Like Armin, look, Armin is in a situation where he can win back all the brownie points, right?
That's a good point.
Like he needs a way to get in there and get the UFC going. Do you know what? That's Sarukian, lads. All right. Look what he did for us there. That's fantastic. So it's an opportunity in that way. I'm just wondering, can we resolve anything else while also resolving this?
Okay, I didn't really think of that, and I understand that can was kicked, but I don't know if there's anything there. If you're Justin Gaethje, though, are you down with that? Going from Dan Hooker to Armin? And I'm not suggesting Armin's that much better than Dan Hooker, but I am suggesting they're completely different fighters, right? With a completely different skill set.
I totally agree with that line of thinking. I would also ask it the other way. If you're Armin, do you want to pin your comeback hopes to get back to the title shot on a short notice fight against a guy who's going to give you 3 rounds of hell, I assume? Because there seems to be some
I think that's a winnable fight for Armin. And by the way, we don't know how hurt he is, if he's feeling better, has he done PT? The back is a serious thing, but that's a favorable fight, I would say, for Armin.
Winnable, but it's dangerous still. It's dangerous, and to do it on 11 days notice makes it even more dangerous.
Yeah, that feels risky to me.
It's a bigger scalp for Gaethje, right? Like if he beats Armin, a guy who was in that spot.
If I'm Gaethje, scalp. I want it. If I'm Armin, I'm not sure.
The one to make, in my opinion, is Fiziev. He's raising his hand. He wants it. He hasn't fought in a year and a half. He's been ready to go for months. They've had some trouble getting him booked. There's a great story there. They fought to a very, very close majority decision. That was a win for Fiziev, right? Am I crazy?
Gaethje
No, sorry, a win for Gaethje. I'm thinking of this because I remember I said that I thought Fiziev won.
You're not alone. That was a very prevalent opinion at that time. No better way to do it.
I actually heard from Justin Gaethje recently.
Oh.
And I'm trying to get it. I mean, I say too many things.
What was it, a snap?
No.
Did you guys trade snaps?
Oh, yeah. Did he snap you?
All I'll say
I saw you scored it for Fiziev.
All I'll say is that he claimed that whatever issue exists between us and him coming to the show, not coming to the show, manager, that stems from my commentary on that fight.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was thinking that because in my opinion he didn't win the fight, but I thought it was a very close fight, and I don't remember saying anything.
Close fight. That's when Gaethje got his first takedown.
Yes, but it wasn't. I don't think it was a disrespectful take on the fight.
It was a very, very close fight.
It was so that's why you have that story. It happened 2 years ago. It was a great fight. I remember us all saying in the aftermath, wish it was 5 rounds. I doubt this is going to be 5 rounds on short notice, but I think we all wanted a little bit more. Of the options, like if I'm managing Moicano, I don't know if I want to do this. We just took a short notice fight. We've got momentum.
Don't want to take another dangerous one.
Right. No harm, no
roll
foul.
the dice.
Nah.
No.
You got to be calculated.
You lose again, then you're just so far from the title.
You went from being maybe a win away to then getting a title shot on short notice to now, by the way, a potential scenario where Islam is leaving the division. So you want to be on a roll. You
will not get back to the title without facing somebody like Justin Gaethje. This is actually the shortcut.
On 11 days notice?
Take the risk. I support Money Moicano's efforts here. This is the way to do it.
I mean, I love the fact that he's raising his hand.
Hell yeah.
He's not considering it the way in which we are. That's why I'm saying if I'm managing Moicano,
if you take it slow, right? Let's say you do take it slow. Who's the next opponent?
I mean,
and then what? Then you're facing Justin Gaethje the fight after that.
What's taking it slow? Just going on a normal fight schedule?
Yeah.
This is Justin Gaethje on 11 days notice.
Nah, take it.
In a full camp.
Take it.
What about Gamrot?
You
guys like Gamrot?
Yeah, Gamrot's fine.
It's fine, but
it's
the least exciting of the options.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Gamrot is one of the best in the division, but his appeal, his star power just is not there.
Well, forget the star power, just stylistically. Like we were expecting two guys to separate each other from consciousness, and then you get Gamrot diving at his legs. Like that's just
not diving at his legs. Remember, Hooker and Gamrot was a potential fight of the year last year.
It was a great fight. I don't expect
that the same.
It's going to deliver Hooker and Gaethje what we expected from that one.
Am I crazy? It was announced as a 5-round fight, right?
Yeah, it definitely was.
I wonder if I even...
You asked Dan Hooker about the 5-round fight, no?
Oh, 100%.
That's when he was just like, someone wants to die?
They put out... Let me see here. They put out the... No.
Ariel, if you were Armin's manager, what would you recommend them do?
Big Danny Rube?
So yeah, shout out to Danny Rube. You brought up a good point that I wasn't thinking about. You really do earn back some of that goodwill. Clearly they're mad, right? They're annoyed. But look at someone like DDP, who also, by the way, is managed by Danny Rube. Remember when Dana was mad that he didn't take the Izzy fight after the Whitaker fight?
Yes.
And they went with Strickland? It all worked out. He
Timing.
Don't 100%, but don't take a fight on 11 days notice, especially if you have a bad back, just to get in their good graces. At some point, it all usually kind of figures itself out, especially if you're a tremendous athlete and fighter like he is. I'm not a huge fan of short notice fights if you don't need to take them. If you have all the like Moicano taking the short notice fight against Islam made all the sense in the world. In this case, you were the number one contender. You can't be more than one win away. You don't need to do this now. Now, again, I do think it's a favorable matchup for him, but it's still, you're going up against a guy who hasn't fought in a year, who was getting ready for, a 5-round fight, we presume, and you haven't been getting ready for one. So don't love it. I like the Fiziev one. And by the way, Fiziev, from a promotional standpoint, is probably the closest of all the options that you get to the Hooker fight in terms of excitement and entertainment, right?
Yeah. Somebody who will stand there and trade with him. In fact, we saw it the first fight. It was a great fight. It was a fantastic fight. It's the best option for me, unless there's another one that comes out of the woodwork,
It is weird that Fiziev hasn't fought in so long. Like, I know he was injured after his last fight, but that was 2023. It would be good to see him back. You don't love, again, ideally, it's like the Bacoli situation. In the moment, you're like, this is great. But then you're like, fuck, I wish these guys were fighting on equal footing. But I like that one the best. The overall sentiment is, damn, that fight was just so fun.
Dude.
Like, when it was one of those fights, somewhat like Pimblett versus Chandler, but this one is really like times 10, where it's just like, who doesn't like this fight? Who isn't excited for this fight?
You're not both psychopaths. You're not excited for it.
It was the light version of Max and Justin.
Yeah.
It was guaranteed. We knew exactly what we were going to get in this one.
And they were both going to deliver. There was no way, like, they want to deliver that type of fight.
And it was like barely the light version. It was like, just hold the sauce.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, that's it.
Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.